Hey fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. Republicans in Tennessee do not like being challenged, and one of the folks who has done so this entire session has been activist Justin Jones. Well, they have not been happy with him. A lot of issues have come up that activists have been upset about, including voting rights and removing the bust of Confederate General Nathan Bedford Forrest from the state capitol. Well, Justin Jones was arrested for assault after a cup was thrown onto the speaker's elevator. He was released on the condition he have no more contact with House Speaker Glen Casada. But the issue, though, is not Justin Jones. The issue is Speaker Glen Casada. A local outlet there in Tennessee, they've been reporting that the Speaker of the House was busted using racial slurs in text messages with regards to Justin Jones. Now they're trying to cover that up. So the question is, what is going to happen in Tennessee? Should there be any repercussion in Tennessee as well? The DA in that particular area has been demanding answers as well in terms of these text messages. And so could we see some serious trouble? Some activists say that that Glen Casada, frankly, was trying to frame Justin Jones to get arrested. Now the DA wants a special prosecutor to investigate exactly what took place there in Tennessee. This here, folks, is a piece. I'm going to play it for you in a second. NewsChannel 5, which is located there in Tennessee, they've been really on top of this story. It was their investigation, and again, they say that racist text messages were exchanged by this particular Speaker of the House. It was a damning report. I was sent this by several activists there in Tennessee, folks who have been really upset and angry with what's been going on in that state. Activists have been really focused on the various bills that have been passed there as well. And so go to my iPad, Henry. This is the piece from News Channel 5. Okay. All right, not sure why we're not getting any audio. All right, guys, so let's let me check it again. Let's see here. I'm going to see if I can reset this here. Take this off. Let's try it now. Here we go.
An exclusive News Channel 5 investigation has uncovered racist text messages and the possibility of doctored documents, all linked to the Speaker's Chief of Staff.
You are racist!
Justin Jones, a divinity student at Vanderbilt, has been a thorn in the side of House Speaker Glen Casada all session long. In late February, he was arrested for throwing a cup at the Speaker. He was released on bond on the condition he have no contact with Casada.
I've obeyed it this many months later, have not had any contact with Casada or have not been at the Capitol, so have followed the no contact order.
But in early March, DA Glenn Funk's office filed this motion to revoke Jones' bond, citing an email Jones sent to Casada's chief of staff, Cade Cothren. That was copied to the House Speaker, thus violating his bond conditions. Jones knew it wasn't true.
It was a shock because it was my freedom. It was me. If this would have went through to revoke my bond, I would be in jail right now until my court date. And so this is not something I take lightly.
News Channel 5 Investigates discovered the DA's motion was based on this photo of an email with the date of March 1st, just one day after the no contact order. But Jones had the original email. The real date, February 25th, which was before his arrest. The DA's office admits their evidence came from the Speaker's chief of staff. Casada's office say they did nothing wrong. They insist they did not alter the email, and they blame the state's email system for the discrepancy in dates.
We've all had an email that we've sent, got clogged in our system, we shut our computer down, or whatever else happens, and it gets sent a day or two later.
Republican Majority Leader William Lamberth admits Jones likely sent the email on February 25th, but it was not delivered to the Speaker's office until March 1st because of the legislature's email security filters. Our investigation also uncovered disturbing text messages by Cade Cothren. In an exchange with Casada, Cothren appears to refer to a West Tennessee district with this black people meme. In a text with other friends, Cothren says, quote, "Black people are idiots." and insists that Tampa Bay quarterback Jameis Winston be called a, quote, thug N-word. We emailed the text messages to Cothren, and he did not deny they were his.
How can you defend that? Does that say something about your attitude toward African Americans?
Still, the Speaker's chief of staff refused to comment.
You have Cade, the Speaker's chief of staff, calling someone a thug here. And I question, is that how they see us each time we go up there and say, you know, we would like a meeting with the Speaker to talk about voter suppression and how it is racialized. We would like to talk to the Speaker about why we have a KKK statue in our state capitol.
I've worked 10 years with my chief of staff. We've left Nashville at 5 in the morning and worked till midnight, traveling the state for almost 10 years. I've never in those 10 years seen any kind of racist or bigoted action out of him. And so if an individual is willing to run a story that's not true about receiving emails, what else are they making up? So I stand by my chief of staff on his character because I know his character.
Meanwhile, the state Democratic Party called on Cothren to be fired, and many Democrats were shocked to see him walking around the legislature.
We're all surprised to see him up here. He shouldn't be in this building. He shouldn't even be in state government anymore.
That's mayoral candidate Representative John Ray Clemens speaking there. Now, Speaker Casada's office says they asked the district attorney to withdraw the motion to have Jones' bond revoked as soon as they realized there could be a problem with the email. That motion was withdrawn, but late yesterday, the DA confirmed he is requesting a special prosecutor to look into these allegations. Now, you can read Speaker Casada's full statement along with all the emails and text messages. They're posted on our website, newschannel5.com.
All right, folks, again, that's a News Channel 5 there in Tennessee. Let's go to our panel here. Dr. Julian Malveaux, economist, president emerita at Bennett College. Also joining us in studio, Johanna LeBlanc, national security and foreign affairs legal analyst. And joining us via Skype is Teresa Lundy, founder, TML Communications. Teresa, I want to start with you. Here's what's interesting. So you have this chief of staff who does not deny the text messages. But you're the Speaker of the House defending him. Oh, I don't know anything about, never seen any kind of racism whatsoever. I'm just saying, when your chief of staff won't deny the text messages, you got a problem.
You absolutely have a problem, Roland. And I always say your representative is always reflective of the people that you hire. So, yes, I do agree with the activist. It's unfortunate that he actually went through this, but it does uncover a lot of things that it says about the representative and how he views African Americans. And when we come to their offices and bring our issues of voting rights suppression, of discrimination, and all types of issues that obviously aren't being put up to the legislator, because you have those who are blocking the conscious conversation that needs to happen. So I think, you know, obviously there should have been more handling of the chief of staff with Cade, where there should have been some disciplinary actions. I don't think the story was untrue or false. Just like we saw in the News 5 clip, where there was another legislator that said, oh, you know, between 1 to 2 days, the email could have got lost. Well, this was primarily of 5 to 7 days that the email landed in the mailbox. And I believe if the News 5 actually retained the messages of the House of the internal technical system, they would see more than likely that email was falsified and was in collusion with the rest of the discriminatory that the young man faced. So it's unfortunate. Hopefully some remedy actually takes place.
Julian, I really do get a kick out of all the dancing the folks do. I mean, here's a guy who is the Speaker of the House, who is a leader, and your chief of staff, guilty as all get out. And by him standing there defending him, now we could call into question your motives.
Precisely. I mean, this man, it was, like you said, it was literally hilarious to watch him try to spin that thing. And if they would call out, as Teresa said, if you would call out, well, it takes a couple of days to get there. Well, if it took a couple of days, why didn't the young man get the benefit of the doubt? The email was sent before he had the restraining order. They came up after and tried to deal with it. But this is a pattern in practice of attempting to basically discredit activists, and kudos to the young brother for standing his ground on this. pattern practice of discrediting an activist, pattern practice of basically attempting voter suppression, but activist suppression. We saw it. We talked a couple weeks ago about, was this also Tennessee, where they're suppressing the vote?
Yeah.
And so basically this is an attempt to suppress the vote and suppress activism. It's very interesting that Tennessee is a state where Ida B. Wells did her first lynching investigations. And she talked about lynching being the ultimate form of intimidation. This young man was not lynched physically, but metaphorically, the way that he's been treated as a young brother who's an activist is a lynching. And it harkens back to what Ida B. Wells was talking about, the intimidation. What ex-activist is going to step up again now, as well as the activists who are registering voters but now face fines? This is a state that has a very deep history of our blood is drenched in the soil of this state, where Ida B. Wells documented so many lynchings, and now were she here, she would have to document the voter suppression, the character assassination, and the attempt to really take away a young man's not only freedom, but also his good name.
Johanna?
Yeah, so I agree with what the activists have been calling for, which is the resignation of the member's chief of staff. Because when you have a chief of staff who's making racial slurs and who is, in essence, dehumanizing an activist, right, it tells me about your agenda in that office, right? It tells me that the agenda of black folks, the agenda of issues impacting people of color is not going to be brought to the forefront, and you're not going to necessarily care about those issues because you don't even see us as human beings. You see some of us as, well, you see us as thugs, as the N-word as he used in his email. So it is very problematic to me because I think that is a way to also chill the speech of many activists, right? It's a way to let you know that your voice don't matter, so don't come here. And the fact that this member is actually supporting and stands behind his chief of staff in light of all these facts tells me something about him and his character and his position pertaining to people of color.
He should be the one who resigns. His chief of staff should resign, but frankly, so should he. He has shown himself to be unfit for leadership.
One of the issues that we have here, again, and I keep telling, I love all these Republicans who always say, why y'all keep calling us racist? Because you keep doing racist shit. I mean, that's just how it happens. I mean, anytime you see these things happen, typically it's a Republican who is sending out racist comments, things along those lines. And so if you keep having more people like that who are in your party, it might say something about your party. And so I'm just letting y'all know just how this whole thing goes. Roland Martin Unfiltered, be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.